She said no.
Oh, Mr. Brown, do you really
She's
think...
a liar.
No, but Mr. Brown, let me ask you something. Do you really think a woman who's making $13 an hour can't use $140 a month for baby stuff? Do you really think your son doesn't cost $140 a month?
He doesn't but what do I get when he comes over to my house? Nothing.
That's because he's hardly ever there.
He's never there. He's never with you.
But I still, you know why I'll fork out to buy a gallon of milk, even though he's there for a night. I'll buy a gallon
for a gallon of milk.
I'm just saying, I'll have something for him.
When I spend almost $400 in groceries
well, you don't
and
think
food
she
and clothes
feeds
for
him?
him.
Oh, I know she feeds them. When her grandparents don't have them.
fork out for
her
a
relatives
gallon
don't
of
have
milk.
them.
I work because I constantly have to take care of him because you don't help me. So therefore, my money, I have to spend more time at work. That way, I don't even get to spend that much time with my son because he's always at the sitters.
Okay. How old were you when you two got married?
I was 20 years old.
You were 20, and you were?
21.
21.
Let's talk about responsibility.
Were you pregnant at the time?
Yes, I was.
Let's talk about responsibility. Responsibility? I come home working 12 hours a night and clean the house. I go to work that night and come back the next day. It's a disaster area. She didn't know how to clean. She didn't know how to clean the house.
Let's put it this way. Let's talk about responsibilities to your spouse. Okay. Your Honor, I was 6 months pregnant and in the hospital with kidney stones. When they released me, I was released on bed rest. Okay? I get home that same exact night. It was a couple days before his birthday, before his 22nd birthday. I'm at home. I'm in bed. I'm still on painkillers. And he decides, oh, well, my mom called me. We're going to go out for my birthday.
And you told me I could go. Then
but the whole point is when you're married, you take care of your wife. You could say, Mom, why don't we do this another time?
I told her, but she got mad. Then you told me.
Well, what did you say? Did you say? Because, you know, sometimes people just don't think. Did you say, baby, I love you. I really wish you wouldn't because I need you. Did you say that or did you start?
I didn't say much of nothing.
Y'all got an excuse for everything.
Exactly. We're married.
No, that's not how a marriage works. That's not how a marriage works.
What does that mean?
I'm talking about like just some married couple have nothing but excuses. You know, and that's what we're one of those married couples.
When divorce court continues, was Santina unfaithful to Chris?
I didn't want to be in front of them. Okay, them smooching all over each other, being lovebirds. I come home and she's staying the night at his house.
Santina says she just wants to spend time with her husband. Do you think that's reasonable?
Call toll-free 1-800-282-1991 to give your opinion to our litigants and to receive some valuable offers. Call 1-800-282-1991 now. Divorce court returns with the case of Chris Brown, who says his wife Santina is too controlling. She's in court suing Chris for $800, the cost to repair her car she says he destroyed.
Mr. Brown, why don't you tell me what was the final straw? What made you decide that this marriage was not going to work?
All right, the final straw was when it was New Year's Eve, just this past New Year's, all right? I wanted to spend time with her. I wanted to start my New Year's off fresh with her. I wanted to go to marriage counseling and everything. Even though she told me that she didn't love me no more, I wanted to try. That's why I cared. Then she tells me, well, I've been talking to somebody for 3 days. That's someone she works with. Then she tells me he's coming over in my own apartment. Then her and her boy toy went over to my family member's house.
Yeah.
I go to my brother's because I didn't want to be in front of them. Okay? Them smooching all over each other, being lovebirds. You know, it hurt me. All right? I come home and she's staying the night at his house. Okay? So pretty much when I move out and she's begging me back, I pretty much see it this way. He walked in, I stepped out.
There was a reason why he came into play.
Well, why don't you tell me why he came into play?
Well, Your Honor, when I gave him 6 months, that was a 6 months. You know, I'm sorry, but I would like...
So it gives you the right to start seeing other people?
Stop. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her. Let me talk to her.
Controlling.
Anyway, okay,
so he hit the 6 month deadline.
He hit the 6 months deadline, and I was done. And that's when I told him I didn't love him anymore. Because when you don't have a marriage, when you don't have a good marriage, how can you be in love with somebody who doesn't help you with the one thing in your life that makes every day worth living is a child, okay? When he doesn't help me, when he doesn't want to be around, when all he wants to do is play his video games, which he is addicted to, He's addicted to spending money on video games and DVDs.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So at that point, I decided that there was someone who was giving me attention. Okay. There was somebody who was trying to love me.
When divorce court continues, Judge Lynn rules. But first, Judge Lynn gives a rule on life to Santina.
You have this very limited, narrow band of appropriate behaviors that you hold other people to. Marriage calls for compromise. It calls for, he does these things that are annoying me, but it's okay, he's my husband.
Divorce court returns with the case of Santina Lowe, who is suing her husband for $800. The cost to repair her car, she says he destroyed.
Mrs. Lowe, tell me about the $800 that you want.
In May of last year, his car was broken down, so he was using mine. So I allowed him to use my car to get to and from work because at that time he was providing for our family.
Isn't it weird how you phrase things? It's just that I allowed him to use my car because at that time he was providing for the house. Like, I don't allow my husband to do. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Go ahead. You allowed him to use the car since he was still providing for the family, and what happened?
On his way home, he called me and says, your car just died.
Cars break down. It happens.
You were very rough on... Okay, how do you explain his car breaking down and then mine breaking down a month later?
Do you have anything to tell me what was wrong with it?
Yes, I do.
I mean, what was fixed? Mr. Brown, what is your response to that?
I mean, it happens all the time. I hear people at work saying my car broke down.
You know what? I mean, you don't even need me here. I could push button B, which is the second most thing I say most often in here, and walk out. You were too young to get married. You should have used birth control. I was a fool when I was 20. I was a fool when I was 20. I was an educated fool. But people who are 20 are foolish. Nothing wrong with it. It's the time for foolishness. But you don't have babies when you're foolish. Now, both of you are childish and insecure. You, however, have this very limited, narrow band of appropriate behaviors that you hold other people to. And you holler and get crazy when they go out of that narrow band. Marriage calls for compromise. It calls for, he does these things that are annoying me, but it's okay, he's my husband. You don't give them 6 months and, order them all around. They don't do well that way. That's not how these people work. Mr. Brown, I think you tried, but you were too young to be married. You weren't a man yet. You still got that boyhood thing going for you with the games and the golf and not the kids. And there's nothing wrong with that either. You still a baby. But let me tell you what, you were a baby with a baby. And you better show up and be a man regularly.
Thank you.
Whether you feel like it or not. And if you got to write down 20 hours a week or whatever, I'm going to see my kid and count it off so you can see what it is you're doing, then do that. But some way or another, be there for that child, and don't you make it hard for him. Cars break. You can't show me anything that he did that caused that car to break. It just broke while he was working. It's not his fault. He was doing the right thing. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
You are very controlling.
Just stop. No.
Don't.
I don't want to hear
What
it.
am I doing wrong?
Would you stop?
No.
Just stop.
I'm not going to
Leave me
stop.
alone.
Controlling.
Get out of my face.
Controlling.
Get out of my face.
That's your problem. What
No,
she just
you
tell
just
you?
need to
What
stop.
encouraged me to stop? How about that?
That only works when it has to do with our son. Thank you very much.
With our son?
Until then,
See, like she
you
said,
need to get
you're
out of my
very
face.
hard to get along with.
Exactly.
I don't even know why I married you.
Do you know Divorce Court has a really active Facebook page? Viewers are sharing their thoughts on the cases. Past guests post things they didn't get to say in court, and everyday people are asking one another for advice on their own relationships. And of course, I'm there too. So come join me, the litigants, and viewers like you at Facebook.